Welcome back now to a very interesting discussion. NEPA, PHC, call them whatever you want. They are an important part of our lives, and they have been the butt of our anger for many, many years. But we're happy to say that November 1, 2013 will mark a watershed in our lives as Nigerians and in the life of NEPA stroke PHCN or whatever they're called. That is the day that the federal government decided to totally privatize the services that we get from that agency. It is my pleasure to welcome our guest of the week today, the Minister of Power, Professor Chinedu Nebo. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. Yesterday, history was made. PHCN, even though a lot of Nigerians still call it NEPA, died an official death. Would that be correct? Would that be a correct statement?
Well, one would say yes. It died officially by design. By design because the government decided to move from a vertically monopolistically controlled power sector to a private sector, power-driven sector. So NEPA, that became PHCN, and from PHCN, it is now all private sector. Well, it all started with ECN, and in those days, Tapia things were a little more stable because we had a smaller country by population. But with a little power problem, they called it Electrical Confucianists of Nigeria, ECN, to NEPA, where people coined the acronym, Never Expect Power Always, to PHCN, which some people call problem has changed names. That was all kinds of things Nigerians were doing to show the dilapidation of the structure with power supply in Nigeria. But today, I think we can heave a sigh of relief that government woke up to her responsibility and saw the need to now hand over to the private sector.
Now, the issue of PHCN workers was what delayed this. Government had told us that this was going to happen a lot earlier, but because of the workers with PHCN, this dragged on up until finally the handover was done on November 1. Now, what is the situation now regarding PHCN workers?
Government has done so much. In fact, no government has taken the bull by the horn the way the federal government has. And when we look at the history of privatization and taking care of unions, various unions in various sectors of our economy, it is obvious that the government has gone so far in trying to meet the needs of the unions of the power sector. We've done so well so far. Already over 40,000 actually, nearly 41,000 workers have all their payments credited. Some of them are yet to receive their alerts, as we call it, and that's because some banks delay in telling the people that their monies haven't paid. And over 26,000 have also had their pension fund credited to PENCOM. But before PENCOM can notify all of them, PENCOM has to be sure that these are real human beings with flesh and blood, go through their own system or mechanism to certify that these people are flesh and blood and not ghosts. So at the end of the day, the remaining 14,000 will also, once PENCOM says that it is now right for us to credit them, that will be done. So at the end of the day, we are getting over 41,000 of these workers fully settled. All the monies are available now. The few thousands left are cases of uncertainties in names. Some people will give 2 names to PENCOM, give 3 names to the clearance committee and so on. At the end of the day, computer says these are not the same people. Like now, when you travel abroad, they say if you want a ticket, you must give the exact name as it is in your passport. If one name is missing, then you might not even travel. So that is what we're trying to do, is to make sure that all this is done. Already, government has expended over 360 billion naira to satisfy these workers. It has never been done in any part of Africa. So we've come a long way, and very thankfully, the union has reciprocated, and that is why you can see that our handover was very peaceful.
So we're not expecting to see any more protests or demonstration by PHCN workers?
I don't think there will be any such, because just remember that even in the past few months, there hasn't been any orchestrated national demonstration or strike by them. We've been carrying them along because I believe in the principles of Georgia instead of war. So we've had a very good rapport with them. But the union leaders are really adamant because they want to be sure that every member of the union is fully settled. And we promise to do whatever is left. For instance, the few that are left, the few thousand, some of them are casual workers. And how do you now treat casual workers that were not actually part of the system? The only way we can address or redress whatever damages have been done in the past is to